Everywhere you look right now, people are claiming that AI dropshipping is literally printing money. They're promising thousands of dollars in passive income from Shopify stores built entirely by robots.
The last couple years, I've made millions of dollars with dropshipping, and more
It has absolutely changed my life. I've gone on to do over $10 million.
One winning product is what takes you from rock bottom.
Elite beginners are making thousands from starting their own e-commerce.
Absolute zero to over $54,000 from the start.
But let's be real, if it was actually that easy, everyone would already be rich, right? I've been selling products online for nearly a decade, and I've watched countless beginners get burned chasing flashy numbers. So instead of just talking about it, I decided to put this AI dropshipping scheme to the test for 30 days. Now, spoiler alert, leveraging AI, this brand new Shopify store pulled in over $50,000. And I know most people will be popping them champagne bottles and bragging in Facebook groups. But by the end of this video, you're gonna see why that $50,000 dashboard is actually a complete illusion. So let's talk about that $50,000 number for a second. Because if you're new to dropshipping, seeing a dashboard like that feels like the ultimate win. Screenshots get posted, people celebrate. It looks like the store that is absolutely crushing it. But the truth is, revenue by itself can be incredibly misleading. You see, for years, the entire dropshipping space has been obsessed with one thing: massive screenshot-worthy revenue numbers. And listen, I get it, revenue is exciting. Revenue is a number that people post in Facebook groups. Shit, I mean, it's what makes up like 90% of my thumbnails. But here's the problem. Focusing only on revenue creates this illusion of success, while the thing that actually measures the health of a business gets completely ignored. And this isn't theoretical. Think about what a $50,000 dropshipping store can actually look like under the hood. You spend heavily on ads to get traffic, you've got product costs eaten into every order, then come the refunds, the chargebacks, the platform fees, and the app subscriptions. You strip all of that away, and suddenly that $50,000 number on that dashboard starts looking a lot less impressive. You see, a lot of people have built stores that looked incredible on the surface, and were quietly bleeding money the entire time. That's the revenue illusion. And once you understand that, the real question stops being, how do I hit big revenue numbers? And it really starts to become, what actually makes a store profitable? And that question is exactly what this 30-day AI challenge was designed to answer. October 20th, that's the day that this experiment was born. But you might be asking, why even run a challenge like this? Well, look, I'm gonna be real. In the past 5 years, the number of dropshipping creators has exploded overnight. And a lot of them are great at running their own stores. But there is a massive difference between a player and a teacher. You can be a level 50 player and a level 1 teacher, which means that you have no idea how a beginner actually thinks or struggles. So I ran this challenge to prove that we actually do what we teach. And what started as a 30-day challenge turned into a 75-day documentation, because every time that I thought that the story was over, the numbers said otherwise. So let me go ahead and take you all the way back to the beginning and walk you through exactly how this thing was built. Now, for starters, one of the main conditions in this challenge was saying, could AI do the heavy lifting? I mean, we're talking product selection, copywriting, strategy, everything. And could it outperform traditional stores on the metrics that actually move the needle? Now, here's something important about how the store was actually built, because this part gets glossed over a lot. AI wasn't just being used to write faster or save time. It was being used to make better decisions. When it came to product selection, the filter wasn't just, is this trending? It was, does this product carry an emotional story? Is there a feeling attached to this product? Can someone watch a 15-second video about it and feel something before they even land on the site? That was a standard every product had to meet. I used to think finding a winning product was just about scrolling TikTok until I found a cool gadget. And I was completely wrong. I was wasting time on products nobody connected with, until I realized that people don't just buy features, they buy transformations. So instead of looking for trending gadgets, I looked for emotional triggers. So day one, I examined the whole market. I checked Google Trends, and we saw collagen and mouth tape were consistently spiking every Q4. And after looking through the data, well, that timing wasn't lucky, it was deliberate. So we asked a simple question. If this trend is real, what result is the customer actually chasing? That thinking led me to the plump lip tape, an overnight treatment that promises a sharper jawline, plump lips, and better sleep while you literally do nothing. Now, this isn't something that's just brand new. Mouth tape had already been trending through 2024 and was starting to pick up again right as I was launching. But choosing the product, that was only step one. The real question was, how do I communicate that transformation when someone lands on my website? So that same emotional angle carried straight into the product page, the home page, the messaging, even the emails that people received after buying. Every touch point focused on the same idea, which was transformation. making the customer feel a better version of themselves that they see in the mirror the next morning. Now, the story didn't sound like a medical article or a supplement label. It sounded like someone who actually understood what the customer wanted to feel when they looked themselves directly in the mirror. And by all the usual standards, this store looked like an absolute home run. In the first week alone, in just 7 days, the store generated $3,508 with a 5.81% conversion rate. By the end of month one, I was at $17,300 in total sales with a 5.4% conversion rate, and it just kept climbing. And then from October 20th through December 31st, the store crossed over $50,000 in revenue with over 1,200 total orders. And I'm not gonna lie, I was definitely feeling myself looking at all that revenue coming in. But again, and this might be surprising, that is not the most important number on the screen. The real magic of the story, the secret sauce that just made this so special, was hiding in a metric that most beginners and even a lot of pros completely overlook. Quick question for you. What is your store's current conversion rate? Drop it in the comment section down below, and do not be shy. Myself and my team are going to randomly pick one person and jump on a free one-on-one call where we will review your store, your ads, and your numbers, and tell you exactly what you need to do to fix it. The store's conversion rate, and here it is, 7.63%. And a huge reason that number was so high came from bundles and subscriptions. Using Kaching bundles, I offered 2-packs and 3-packs to be bought of the same product at a discounted rate. And also, if the buyer bought the subscription option, it was cheaper than buying the product by itself. And those subscriptions alone drove over $15,000 in monthly recurring revenue. And here's why that matters for conversion rate. When someone has paid for a subscription on your website, they're not trying the product, they're committing to it. And they're committing for more than just one purchase, where that higher level of buyer commitment pushes conversion rates up across the entire store because of the amount of repeat buyers that come in every single day. Now, I know what you're thinking. That number doesn't sound nearly as exciting as $50,000. But trust me when I say this, it is infinitely more powerful. Just to give you a sense of just how insane that is, let's go ahead and put this in perspective. The industry average for a dropshipping store is around 2%, if you're lucky. Even a retail giant like Walmart only converts at about 5.5% online. And now, this brand new AI-powered dropshipping store was outperforming one of the biggest companies on the planet. And just so we're all on the same page, the conversion rate is simply this. For every 100 people who visit your website, how many of them are actually buying something? So the average store gets maybe 2 sales from every 100 people, but this store was getting around 8. So how did I do it? Well, once I validated the product using Google Trends, I didn't just move forward blindly from there. I actually went into AutoDS to find the product and to validate if it was actually worth building a store around. So here's what I did. Once I got into their system, I filtered by the beauty category and then set the time range for the last 7 days. And then just started scrolling through what was moving. And right away, the data did not lie. The lip plumper showed up immediately, showing the units sold, trend line, shop data, all of it right here. So I pulled up the specific product, flipped through the trend graph for 30 days, and this is what I saw. It rises, it dips just a little bit, and then it rises again, where each spike is higher than the last. Then it plateaus for a moment, then another big jump. That's the exact pattern that we're looking for. It breathes while the overall direction is still pushing upwards. So that is what told me that demand for this product was still growing. It's not peaked yet, it's not dying. I mean, it's literally growing day to day. And in that moment, after that validation, I knew that this was worth putting more effort into. So I had the demand signal. Now I needed just to understand who was actually buying. So right there inside AutoDS with the same product, I just went ahead and scrolled down to the TikToks that have already went viral for it. And right away, I was able to see the view counts, the comments, the likes, the engagement scores, all of it. We could even see which videos went viral and how crazy they actually went. So I just went ahead and clicked through the top performers, checked the trend graph for each one, and then hit see original to go straight to the original TikTok. And then right then and there, that is where it clicked. One video was speaking to women who wanted confidence. Another was showing a transformation. Same product, but completely different buyers. So I didn't want to sit there and guess which angle to lead with. I read what was already working and then I built around that. And once I saw those signals, I knew that this was a product worth moving forward with. So immediately, the next thing I did is I went straight into the AI store builder because I knew I had to get the store up and going ASAP. I was not about to spend weeks tweaking my store design when I had something this good in my hands. And by the way, doing this was so simple, okay? I literally have a link to build your whole store for 100% free in the description down below. So if you want to build your store in 5 minutes versus spending days on it, click that link to get started. So once I got inside the AI store builder, all I did was just select my niche pick a couple banners that align with my product, and then list where I'm going to be selling my product. That way, the entire store could be built to support my product the best way possible. And then from here, I want you guys to understand something. The secret wasn't having some crazy product page or a magic ad strategy. From here, it was all about using AI to tap into the most powerful driver of human decision making there is: pure emotion. Think about it. Most dropshippers sell with logic, saying things like, this product solves X problem. And is that practical? Yes, but it's also forgettable. So the main goal was just to make sure that the product in the ads actually sold a real feeling. And I wanted to make this really concrete, because when most people hear sell a feeling, it just sounds vague. So let's really look at what this means in practice. And I'm gonna show you exactly what I did with the lip plump tape. So the logical version of this product page would say something like, reduce dryness, make your lips bigger, slim your face, and get better sleep. Now the emotional version that I went with, it read something like, while you sleep, lips plump, your jawline sharpens, and your skin clears. You wake up, you feel 10 years younger, and your natural beauty just looks different, without spending thousands on lip filler, all while you rest and sleep. Same product, but giving the customer a completely different experience from just reading it. And that is the major difference. One version describes the product, while the other version puts the customer inside the transformation that they're about to buy. And when someone reads that second version, they don't feel sold to, they feel understood. And that is an entirely different psychological state to be making a purchase decision from. So instead of selling a lip treatment, we sold a feeling of waking up and finally liking what you see in the mirror. Instead of selling a beauty product, we sold confidence that doesn't wash off. So the product is just a vehicle, but that feeling, the feeling is what people are actually paying for. I mean, think about it. We're all living in a world of mindless scrolling. And the only way to interrupt that pattern is to make people feel something. So good marketing has never been about just showing off a cool product. It's about creating a small transformation in someone's life. And this wasn't random. I built a simple but incredibly powerful framework that we call the mirror method, where first you reflect. You show the customer their current pain, making them feel truly seen. Then you do the reveal, showing them the transformed version of themselves, the person who already has the solution. And finally, route. You give them a clear route, a simple path to be able to get there. Now, a framework is only as good as your ability to actually execute it at scale. And that's where Creatify, a tool I was introduced to in October, became an unfair advantage. Instead of spending weeks briefing creators and waiting on edits, we drop a product link in and it would pull the script, the visuals, the avatar, everything, and batch out dozens of mirror method structured ads in a single session. And we needed that. That volume went a long way, because in month one alone, we were running 90 different ads. Different hooks, different angles, different thumbnails, different ad copy, all simultaneously, all testing at the same time. And I did this on purpose because I never wanted to run dry on creatives the entire 30 days. I wanted to continue to keep replenishing with new marketing angles, new emotion, new feelings every single day. And I want you to understand the importance behind this is that most stores die because they can't feed the machine fast enough. So if you're serious about ensuring that the machine gets the right data and you get loads of creatives to test with, at a fraction of the cost and time that it typically takes using video editors, it's definitely worth checking out. And there's actually a free plan to go ahead and start with, and the link is in the description. Now, here's where the AI advantage went even deeper. We weren't just using it to create, we were using it to analyze. Where every day I was exporting the ad metrics into ChatGPT, prompted it as a meta sales campaign expert, and had it break down exactly where I was winning and where I was leaking money. And it told me that my CTR was healthy, our add to cart rate was strong, and our checkout completion was strong, but our profit efficiency needed work. It gave it a 7.8 out of 10 overall, and that told me immediately exactly what to fix. So I took that feedback and I went right back to the creatives. And right away I noticed that video 2 turned out to be the winner. The one that, over the full stretch of Q4, drove 521 purchases, 903 added carts, and 659 initiate checkouts on its own. And the reason that this ad framework works so well is because it mirrors exactly how humans are wired to make decisions. And that's that customers, they have to feel understood before they even trust anything. And they also need to be able to see the versions of themselves that they want to become before they even believe that it's possible. And most importantly, they need to know that the path is simple enough to actually take. And as a marketer, if I removed any one of those 3 things, I would lose out on all my potential customers. But if I kept all 3 as a main focus, my conversion rate would make Walmart's look weak. So I took that formula and I just stamped it onto everything from the ads all the way to the product page. So how does this amazing conversion rate actually translate into money? because it's not a vanity metric. It's not just a nice number to look at. I mean, it fundamentally changes the economics of the entire business. And there's one downstream effect of a high conversion rate that most people just never think about, especially when it comes to paid ads. You see, when your store converts at 8%, you can run ads profitably that a 2% store would have had to turn off. So let's break that down, okay? Think about what that really means. Your competitor is looking at the same ad, the same audience, the same cost per click, and it doesn't work for them. But it works for you, because every visitor is now worth more when they land on your page, because you know that you can convert better than everybody else out there. So you can afford to outbid them. You can afford to stay in the auction longer, where right away your cost to be able to get a sale drops, your return on investment goes up, and you can scale in ways that are completely out of reach for a store that hasn't done this foundational work first. So this is the crucial part. A high conversion rate is like a business cheat code. You can just spend less on ads because every single visitor is more valuable. Your profit margins go up, you earn more from every customer, and you start building a stable long-term business instead of just throwing money at traffic and hoping that something sticks, where you get to be in the position where you actually get to keep the profit that you make. So let's take a look at these two stores that both get 10,000 visitors and are selling the product for $30. Store A, with a typical 2% conversion rate, makes right around $6,000. But store B, with an 8% conversion rate, makes nearly $24,000 from the exact same amount of traffic. And that's the difference that we're talking about. And it's not even in the same league to compare. And I'm gonna be real with y'all for a second. I remember having all this information and still making the wrong moves. And it wasn't because I wasn't watching the right videos or I didn't understand the concepts. I understood them. I just had nobody in my corner telling me, hey, that creative doesn't work, or that number doesn't work. Fix this first. And when I first started, that gap cost me over $20,000 in losses. A story that I don't want to get into too much right now because of just how much it still stings. But what really kills me is that none of that even had to happen in the first place. I mean, just one person who would actually look at my numbers, my ads, and knew what they were doing before I made that move, I mean, they would have saved me from all of it. So if you're at the point right now where you feel like you have all the information, but you're just still not sure if you're applying it right, well, that is not a you problem. That is a support problem. And that is exactly why I built my one-on-one mentorship, where myself and my team will be in your corner every single day of the week, reviewing your store, your ads, your numbers, and telling you what to fix before it costs you. Now, I do want to be upfront. We only have 5 spots open for next month, and we keep it that way on purpose because this isn't a course that you buy and forget. This is hands-on every week, and I'm not gonna water it down by taking on more people than we can actually show up for. So if that sounds like something you've been missing, the link to apply is in the description. Let's see if you're a good fit before those spots are gone. So what's the ultimate lesson from this entire experiment? Is that the real playbook for success is not just about revenue. It's about recurring revenue and profitability. In other words, building a real system where customers naturally come back or buy multiple months at once. That's the real leverage. And I've seen this play out with complete beginners too. One of our students, Jacob, started when he was just 14 years old and managed to generate over $60,000 in revenue in less than 30 days, and roughly 30,000 of that coming from recurring revenue behavior. That's the shift in belief. Instead of chasing one-time sales and big dashboards, you build products and offers that create repeat buying. In fact, a $10,000 store with strong recurring revenue is often way more profitable than a $50,000 store full of one-time buyers. Because when your business has recurring revenue built in, every customer becomes more valuable and the entire system becomes more profitable. At the end of the day, a lot of people think dropshipping is a product game, and it's not. It's an attention game. First, you have to earn someone's attention by making them feel something. Then you have to convert that attention with a simple, easy, and trustworthy experience. This is how you build real sustainable profit. And here's what I want you to actually take away from this. Not just as inspiration, but as something that you can really do right now heading into this week. Open your store right now using the AI store builder and read your product descriptions out loud. Ask yourself honestly, am I describing the product or am I describing the feeling? Pull up your analytics and find your conversion rate, and then benchmark it against a 2% industry average. And if you're already running ads, look at your best performing one and ask whether it leads with logic or emotion. Those 3 things alone will tell you everything that you need to know about where your store stands, because AI was never really the hero of the story. What AI did was force a disciplined, consistent focus on emotion and conversion. 2 things any store could prioritize, but almost none do, because everyone is too busy staring at the revenue number. And that leads to the final question I want to leave you with. What would change for your business or how you approach new projects if you stop chasing those big, flashy revenue numbers and you started obsessing over the one metric that actually builds a profitable, long-term business. Something to definitely think about. And look, if you've made it this far, you're already thinking differently than most people starting out. And that is what really matters. And now from here, here's your homework and the next step. Go watch the How to Start Dropshipping in 2026 video that I just dropped. This is where I break it all down step by step and lay out the entire process, start to finish, on exactly how I do it. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I better see you in that next video. This is AC with Supreme Ecom, and I'm out.